Hello everyone. Let's see. Hello everybody. Sorry that I was trying to use Be Life, but it doesn't appear to be working, so I had to end that. And I want to see if I'm able to bring on now. Hello everybody. Let's see. Who do I have here? Let's see. Got to turn it here like that. This is really weird. This is weird. Hello everyone. See, how do I get you in? I'm trying to get you in, but I have no clue how to get you in. I see you. Okay, you are watching, but request. Let's see, allow your viewers to request. All right, Veronica, can you request? Veronica, go and request to come in now. Request to come in. Request to come in. Go and request, because it says you're watching, so go out and request to come in. Go, Veronica, go out and request to come in. Because it says you're watching. Hello, everybody. We're sorry we're behind. We just had some technical issues here, so we're sorry about that. It's something allow your viewers to request to join you as a guest. So Veronica, go out because I still see you watching. Go out and then request to join me. Go out and request to join me. Go out and request to join me. This is so weird. Hello. Hi, babe. We have major technical issues here. It's not allowing my show to go on the way it's supposed to go on today.
You okay? Do you need my laptop?
Perhaps maybe because I don't know. We're behind right now. Veronica, go out. Go out. Okay, request approved. All all right. I just approved you. So adding you on. Okay, cool. Cool. Wow. This has been quite a day. All right. It says adding. It says adding you on. It says it's adding you on, but hey.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Greetings, Dr. Princess Fumi Hancock. How are you?
I'm fine. You gotta turn it like this because you're sideways. So turn
I'm
it.
sideways.
Yeah. Oh my heavens. I am so sorry. This has never happened before. So that tells me a whole lot that God wants to do something in and through you today. Because my
Yeah.
goodness, it's never
The
happened. I'm
fight, the
telling
fight
you.
has been hard.
Oh my God, it's never. Honey, can you please bring my phone for me? It's never what I used to use, the regular thing that I used, then that didn't work. Then I decided to say, well, okay, let me do Be Life. Paid for Be Life, did everything, set it all up. Was working well because I saw you. Oh my God. And then when it was time to start, whoops. So let me do this. Let me invite others because while we were on, there were people coming on and they were talking down there, but they didn't understand why
I
they could
saw
not see
them.
us. So let me try and invite people and just let them know that we are live now. Whoa, I feel like not touching anything up there right now. My goodness. My goodness. Well, thank God he prevailed.
Yes, he does.
Yeah. We are live. Please join us. My word. Woo. This is quite some. All right, let's see. Andrea was here because okay, somebody's doing their start there, so somebody's there. Uh, that's the other thing. I can't even see who is here now, so I have to use another. Dr. E. Let's see, Ramona. Let's see. Hey, Jessica, how are you? Thank you so much. Thank you guys for hanging in there with us. I appreciate that. My goodness, what a day! What a day! All right, let's see. Ramona. Ramona. Uh, who else I want to add on there? Patricia. Let me just add on. Uh, who else is missing? Who else is missing? Who else is missing? Who else is missing? Oh my goodness, I can't even remember. Thank you all, Jessica. Thank you for joining. As you come in, you all, because I see more people are coming in. So thank you. Just thank you for hanging in there with us. Natural. Thank you for joining. Thank you for hanging in. My goodness. Oh, Andrea, thank. Can you please all just share this? I tell you, it was a technical, unusually technical uh, uh, experience, but we overcame by the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimony. So thank you, God, for this. Thank you, Jehovah God. Ramona, welcome and congratulations for your achievement today. I'm proud of you. Natural, thank you, Susie. Thank you so much. Everyone, please, can you just share in the groups for me, please? Andrea, Ramona, if you don't mind, share in Prayerpreneur, the Princess of Suburbia, because I don't have access to them all now. And just call all the other passes in to help us out here, because I know a few of you were under the Be Life one talking, but I didn't have access to you all. So thank you all so much. We're not going to keep you for too long, but it's going to be a seasoned word. I really believe that this is what God has called this woman, this young woman, to speak today. And anytime someone who has been silenced for a while, and God wants to open them up, there's always, how many of you know? Oh, thank you, Andrea. How many of you know that the enemy always comes and tries to act out? Dr. Phyllis, thank you for watching. And so I tried earlier to use my regular, you all know I use my Zoom. All I had to do was push the button and it was okay. Where I tried to push the button this afternoon, it didn't work. So I said, okay, I'm just going to go for another service. So I paid for another service, set the whole thing up. Ooh, I saw her name. I said, oh, this is good. Easy. Click the button. Nah. So that's where we're late tonight. So thank you all so much. Let me just go right with it. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Dr. Princess Fumi Hancock. People know me as your Global Vision Midwife and, of course, your Life Rehab Ambassador. I'm a nurse practitioner, an advanced nurse practitioner, mental health nurse practitioner by profession. And, of course, I'm a best-selling author. I've written 21 books, and 11 of them have become, oh, thank you, 11 of them have become bestsellers. I think 12 now. We're going on 12 now. So the 12th one is what got our little lady here sitting here, because sister was writing. She was writing. She was doing all kind of stuff. I said, no. I got to bring her, because there is some word inside of her that she needs to share. And so because of that, I want her to introduce herself. I never want to introduce my guests, because I feel like they need to introduce themselves. Oh, by the way, my dear, you're looking beautiful today. You're looking really, really beautiful. Okay, so, hey, okay, now, True Veronica, which one now? All right, come on, introduce yourself. Can you hear?
Is that me? Is
Okay.
that me?
Yeah,
Am I?
you introduce yourself.
I hear music. Can you
Music?
hear me?
No, yeah, we can hear
I
you.
heard music.
Oh, okay. There's no music here, but introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Veronica Siane Smith, and my friends know me as True because that's the name that was given to me um, when my life journey started changing. God spoke to me. He said, "You're true." So most of my friends, they were calling me that anyway, and I said, "Oh, how? I'm just gonna go with that name." So that's how. So you can call me True, Veronica Siane. Depends on what platform you know me on. Thank
Awesome.
you.
So we're going to talk a little bit about. First, tell us about you, because I know that you are you connected with military or Air Force? What are you? Which part of the is it military or what? Tell us a little bit about you. Thank you,
Um,
Ramona. Thank you, everyone.
yes, thank you. I really appreciate it. Um, I was actually in the Department of Defense, U.S. Navy for 20. So that was my military attachment. When you see U.S. Navy retired, I actually did my 20 years, and I learned a lot about my struggles and my experiences were so extreme that I actually learned a lot about trusting God even more.
Wow. When you say your experiences, are there some things you can share with us?
Um, yeah, there's some things I can share. I mean, I was hard headed. I didn't. My first, my first, my first time even going to boot camp. I think I was there one of the longest people in there. I went in February 1990. I didn't graduate until August. And by all means, I shouldn't have been there. I shouldn't have been in the military in boot camp that long. I should have been processed and went home. So there was a reason that I was there, because I don't know how long boot camp is supposed to last, but I know I was constantly in trouble and constantly getting set back 2 weeks. Oh, Smitty, you got 2 weeks. You got 2 more weeks. You wore makeup. You got 2 more weeks. You didn't run properly. You got 2 more weeks. And I'm like, I just want to go home. And my mother, the whole time, I would write to her. I would call her, and then she would tell me, you can do all things through Christ Jesus who strengthens you. And I was like, Mom, I want to come home. So somehow, actually, even before I joined the military, it was about 5 of us that went to go take the ASVAB exam. And that was to determine if you can even go in. Out of my friends, I was the only one that passed the test. And I was like, okay, well, I didn't want to go because none of my friends were going. And one of the girls in the group, she says, you're going. So that was a part of my experience that God wanted me to have to get to where I am today.
Wow. Well, someone just said, Olajide Kolawole said, thank you for your service. Thank you. And
Oh,
we
thank
thank
you.
you. We thank you for your service. Everybody's saying hello to you. Geraldine, welcome. Olajide, welcome. Did Maurice, welcome. Ramona, welcome. Thank you all so much. Please, as you come in, can you just invite, can one of you invite just one person? Thank you, Dr. Phyllis, for joining. She says, Shalom. I want to talk to you about worth, knowing one's worth, because I was reading some of the things that you wrote after reading the book. By the way, some of you, if you don't know, I just released my 21st book. Is my 21st anniversary. Hey, Dr. E, for becoming a published author. And this is a best-selling author, right? It's best-selling right now. And she purchased it. Let me say something. She purchased $500 of this book. And it was at a time where I really, really wanted to try what this pre-ordering was about. And I really knew that it was time to put money together to send home for my babies. You know, I have about maybe 50 of them now that I sent to school. And she actually just went beyond and purchased because she wanted to also give it out to other people. This is what I love about True. I want to call her True because I really believe that name, it's really it encompasses who she is. She really went in and she dug into this book, and you could tell because of the experiences she was writing, the things that she was writing. For a while, she disappeared on Facebook, and I would send things to her. I would hear from her. I would call Dr. E and say, "Have you heard from her? Is she okay?" And Dr. Ito will say, well, I haven't seen her lately either. So it is a great thing to know that this book at least maybe played a role in pulling you out of where you were because it says stop hiding, right? How do you resonate? Talk to us. How did you resonate with this book? Tell me, how did you resonate with this book?
Well, I resonated with it because I've been dealing with all my life, you know, not all my life, but basically at a young age, I had that spirit of rejection where I was called ugly, um, constantly, constantly, all the way up to my 12th grade year. I mean, it was just little sly remarks and the bullying things in school.
Wow.
And I did things to try to get attention, and I didn't listen to my mother because I wanted to be to 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 be in the in crowd. And I didn't want that rejection. I didn't want anybody to tell me anything else I didn't want to hear. And I didn't know what to say. And what I could tell you about the book, it gives you the tools of what to say when people deem you unworthy. And as
Wow.
a child should never experience a person having to make them feel that way.
Wow.
Um, my mother, my mother and my father both poured all their love into me and all their love, and they would tell me, Veronica, you don't have to listen to that. Um, but when you hear it from people that you care about and you love about, and I always loved people, I always saw the good in people, and I could never understand why they will always criticize and find fault with everything. And then I said, you know, as I got older, I said, well, maybe it was something wrong with them. You know, maybe they experienced something, or maybe at their homes, they don't receive that love.
Wow.
And as I got older, some people say I was jealous because your parents showed you love. And I didn't want you to feel beautiful. I didn't want you to smile, you know?
Wow.
And so if we instill this message of hope as early as possible, if people can just say, hey, look, I want to invest in you, and not because I want something from you.
That's right.
And I think a lot of times people just wanted something from me. Okay, there were people that shouldn't even touch me, even shouldn't even came around me.
Wow.
I looked up to people, and so because that was the way my parents taught me. They taught me that. So um, yeah, so that's why the book resonates with me so much, because I can go and say, hey, look, you know, this is something I learned in my experience. And if I can get this book out to more people, then, and if they read it, if you just open up and read it, you can apply it to your life, because you're unique. You're not me. I'm not you. You're unique to who you are. Your DNA is set up, your purpose is set up for you. So you're going to identify differently than from me. But if you meditate on the book and you take your time and um, you think about your experience and where you're at and what can you do, learn from where you're at and learn from what you can do with the book, you can excel a lot faster than I did. If I had that book at a younger age, woo, I mean, I can just imagine where I would be at right now. But my
Wow.
military experience, the reason why I credit a lot to my military experience, because when I went through the hardships in the military, God gave me people that loved me. God gave me people that helped me. And and a lot of people didn't know that while I was in the military, I was also suffering from Graves' disease. And that
Oh,
is
so
something else
stop,
all by
stop,
itself.
pause right there. When you were in the military, what is Graves' disease for people to understand? I know what it is, but I want people to understand what Graves' disease is. To have Graves' disease and be in the military, I don't know how you pull that off, but tell people what Graves' disease means. You can do
It
it.
wasn't me. It wasn't me that got me through.
Hmm.
It was God's grace that got me through. It was a horrible experience. When I first found out I had a goiter in my neck, and I would hide it like with turtleneck things like this, my white t-shirt, I would bring it up and I would put it in a little pin so nobody would see that my neck was swelling up. And I couldn't walk one day. One day I was walking up the stairs and I couldn't walk. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't run. I was always in trouble because I was gaining weight. I couldn't run as fast as everybody else could. And there were some people that say, hey, look, I'm gonna work with you. I'm gonna run with you. I'm gonna do the work for you. I had people do the work for me when I went through the stages when I was falling asleep all the time. And so, well, you know, I don't know, but it meant the world to me. And if you don't know what it's about, and I really totally don't know what it's about, I'm still learning about it. So if you can help me out with that, explain a little bit about it. But I can just tell you the symptoms that I felt for me, and it was devastating. Even sometimes being called obese, because you had, I'm a big girl, you had to be a certain weight in the military. So, and if I didn't take my Synthroid, if I didn't understand medication management, and I'm gonna get to that part later. That's right. When I didn't start understanding medication management until this year. Wow. And when I experienced this, I was in my 20s, and I'm 47 years old now, and I'm just now learning medication management.
Wow, wow, wow. Please do share as you come in. Can you share? You all are saying how powerful this message is. Ramona Jones says trauma at a young age stays with us and shapes us. People are saying bless you, oh but God. We want this. See, this is why I said we went through a lot of problems even trying to get on tonight, because I know that the message that she has is powerful for somebody to really, there's going to be somebody here today. I don't care if it's just one person. There's going to be somebody here today that is going to be changed forever. Chris Smith said, love you, mama. So
love you
there's
too,
somebody. So please do share this. Let's talk about you digging into this book. You said something. One of the posts that you said the foreword, that you began to read the foreword that was done by Paula Moshe Wallace. She's the TV host and the producer of Bloom Today TV, which is seen in a lot of countries right now. Talk to me about that. Because when I read that, I said I needed to find out exactly. I had to go back and read it again myself, because when you said it, that it made an impact. And one of the ladies in my group too, Fatima, she's Muslim and she's from Algeria, and I met her in Saudi. She said to me, even the cover alone, she said she hasn't even gone inside the book. She said, but what she read on the cover has already told her a whole lot of things about what is going on with her. So can you talk to us about what was it in that part that really touched your heart enough to now say, I'm going to dig in and really read through this? Because a lot of times we buy all these books and we never finish it. But you really went through it, and you encouraged me to even go back and start reading it myself. Talk to me about that.
Well,
hey,
you're
Jamila.
taught to be, you're taught to do everything right. You taught to bring home A's, 100%. You taught about the 100%. You're taught about being perfect. You're taught about being fit into someone else's standards. And what I loved about the foreword is that it talked about your you being imperfect, your imperfections. And what I learned as I got older, we operate in excellence and not in perfection. I mean, when we become perfectionists, sometimes we can go two ways. We can go either the way where we won't do anything because we say, okay, I know I can't get it right, so I'm not going to tackle it. Or we'll go to the extremes where we just take everything on board, and then we don't share with other people. We don't teamwork with other people to make the job a lot lighter, because we're so taught that we got to.
Can you say that again? A lot of times we don't do what you said, we don't team up. Can you say that again? Because people need to hear that.
Yeah, you have to team up. In the military, I wouldn't have made it. I couldn't have made it by myself. It took my whole team. It took everybody around me um, to get to what I needed to do to get my assignments done. Um, some people don't understand that you have your own skill, and when you team up, when you bring that skill to the plate, you lighten the load. The more people bringing their skill in, and then still, even still, you have to work the group dynamics. You have to get to know people in the group individually. And when people come together, sometimes you can bump heads, and you have to let that stuff go when you got to get the job done.
That's right.
And some people don't know how to do that because they've been taught to control, they've been taught to manipulate. Um, and it's a horrible thing to see. Matter of fact, I don't even have to see anybody in action. I can feel it. I can feel the presence of things. And when I see something not operating the way it should, my soul cringes. I almost go to a stance, like, and so, and I've said, you know what? I'm not going to be passive about it anymore. If I feel that, then I'm going to tell people this is what I feel, and I could be wrong, but at least you know where I feel on the plate. I don't put everything on the plate. It's up to you to take it the way you're going to take it. Sometimes we get too passive and we don't say what we want to say, and then sometimes we can be too aggressive. So we have to find a balance in between the two. A lot of things I'm finding out as I get older, there's a balance to some things. When it comes to your integrity, you don't never sidetrack from that. I learned that you don't never go against your morals. And I think that's what a lot of.
Okay, so I want us to talk about discovering your passion, because you mentioned something about going into the military, right? Were you forced to go into the military, or was it something that you just wanted to try out? What was it?
Going into the military was probably like our way out of what we thought about. Okay, so when I ran away from home, I moved to a little town called Lexington Park, Maryland, where there was a naval base there. So a lot of the people there around the teenage years, they aspired to say, "Hey, look, I want to get out of this situation. I don't want to be poor. I don't want to be somewhere having babies. I want to do something with my life." So a lot of times we'll look over at the naval base and say, "Hey, look, that's where we should go." But it was like an inside joke kind of thing. So one day when I was talking to my mom, she said, "Veronica, you're going to have to either go to school or join the military. You're going to have to do something with your life. But going out to party or hang out with people or travel the world with musicians, that's something that I'm not going to allow you to do." So I said, well, if I join the military, I get some freedom. I can, venture out. But I didn't really think that I was going to go after I saw that my friends weren't going. And so it came a time where I said, well, I have to go. It was really bad. I had 2 guns pulled out on me for various reasons. One, because the girl was jealous, and another one is because I was dancing in the club and he didn't approve of it. So yeah, not no, well, it doesn't matter but I was just dancing with my friends, it wasn't like I was somewhere, that's just what kids did, back then. And so, that's how I ended up getting in the military. I wasn't really forced per se, but I wanted a better life than what I was doing. And I didn't see my calling or my purpose at that time. I didn't know really what I wanted to do.
So what have you learned through the years now? Hey, Florida, what have you learned through your experiences in the military and outside of the military? And even reading this book, what have you learned about purpose?
I learned that my purpose, I learned about me, about my purpose. I love serving people. I love the service of helping other people. For someone else's idea of purpose after they read the book would be different because their vision
That's right.
that was given to them would be different. But I
That's right.
always saw myself, I mean, I idolize people like Maya Angelou, Mother Teresa, Dr. Martin Luther King. I that's what my focus was on. People that did things for other people. And I always said, well, if I can make it, then I can go back into the communities where I came from or where I lived at, and I can help them.
That's right. That's right.
And then I learned
And
that,
yeah, I'm go ahead. Go ahead.
and then I learned through those experiences that, education is key. You have to
That's right.
keep learning. So every assignment that I went to, I had to learn something. And sometimes you're put in, because you transfer out so much, sometimes you can go to a community where there's nobody there to train you. And you're going to have to get in those books and you're going to have to read and you're going to have to ask other people. Now, hopefully these other people are willing to share that wealth of knowledge with you so that you can get the job done. But not everybody's going to share the job because they get
That's right.
intimidated. And so this
That's right.
goes back again. People got to know their worth. They got to know they're worthy. And once you know that you're worthy, you're not going to be desperate enough to hurt someone. You're not going to be desperate
That's right.
enough to keep all the recognition to yourself. Um, you,
You know, it's funny though, because when I first started writing this book, it was something that came out of the master class that I have called 7 Days to Release Your Amazing Life. And so the name started with 7 days. As you know, those who pre-ordered it, it started with 7 days to release your amazing life. And in fact, I needed to have released it 2 months ahead. If you guys knew, remember, there was I think I must have changed the time like twice or so, because I just kept feeling like it wasn't finished yet. It wasn't finished yet. There was something that still needed to be added. And it was right about almost very, very late when I really believed that I sensed that I needed to change the name to Wake Up Girls. Wake up, girl, right? Wake up, right? Wake up, girl, you're worthy. And it's amazing. I had a beautiful breakfast with my pastor this morning, and we were talking about worth. And she too was talking about worth. And it's amazing how a lot of us out there, we wear it well. We wear our pancake well, right? Our pancake face, we wear it well. We put our little, we put our little lipstick on. We put everything on and we wear it well. And yet we are burning inside. We are dying on the inside and really looking for somebody to actually say, hey, there is some solutions for you. Here you go. And now, particularly when you are a leader yourself, and so you're feeling like you don't want to go anywhere, or you don't have anywhere to go, you don't know who to go to. So tell me, what else have you learned from this book? What else have you learned from this book? Because you sister, you wrote a lot. Because I was seeing all them writing. It was like you were on a roller coaster, just coasting through the book. So tell us, what can people learn about this? What is the effect for you? How has it affected you, and how has it allowed you to see your situation?
what I liked too about the book was how you briefly talked about the Elam's theories.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. And
Yes.
so
Talk to us about that.
it's like you have to, that's like being aware. You that's like the beginning of things. It's like you start asking the question why. And this is what hurts me. This is what hurts me when I see people shut kids down. At 2 years old,
Mhm.
3 years old, they're asking you that question, why? Well, I don't know if any psychologists or therapists have came up with the idea where we come back into a realization that we got to start asking the questions why again. Why?
Mhm.
Why are we doing
Mhm.
this? Because if something's not
Mhm.
setting well with your heart,
Mhm.
you need to govern that. You need to figure out, why is my heart saying this and my brain is saying that. If your heart and your brain is not matching, you got to start asking some questions. And I think that
That's right.
and then when you mentioned that 70%, you brought up the Gallup poll about 70% people that
Yes.
are miserable in their jobs. I'm like,
Isn't that
yeah,
something?
I mean, I can understand that. And I refuse to be miserable. And I said, when I got out of the military 20 years, you basically sell yourself. You just sell your soul in kind of a way, because you want to help the world, but then you're sacrificing so much. You're sacrificing your time with your own family and developing your own family. So I had to say, I don't want to be stuck where I'm being told what to do. But do you know how hard it was after having 20 years of somebody telling you what to do or how to do it? And I'm like, okay, here it is, my chance. What I'm going to do with it.
Oh
So I
my
was
God.
hiding. I hid a lot. Then I come out a little bit, and then I go hiding again. Then I come back out a little bit, and I learn a little bit more, and then I hide again. And I learned that when you expose yourself to more positivity, your brain starts working with your heart.
That's right.
You
That's
don't,
right.
when your brain, and I do know that when your brain doesn't function with your heart, it's usually because you have some type of stress level or anxiety or depression. There's something going on, but you have to be in tune with yourself. And when
Hey,
you're in
Patty.
tune with yourself, you get up in the morning, you know exactly what you're going to do for the rest of the day.
That's right. That's right. Wow. Hey, hey, Patricia, welcome. I tell you, the Gallup information that True was sharing is an information that I shared about what is out there. Is that there's actually a poll out there, statistics out there about the 75% of people who hate their jobs, right? And so when I found out about America, then I said, oh, okay, so maybe that's just in America. Now, let me just go further and look outside of America and just look at the whole world. Oh, my goodness. And the number of people all over the world that hated their jobs. I'm sitting there saying, oh, my God. Even some went to the extent of saying if they were given $1 million, they would not stay in that job any longer. They'll take the money and go start something, but they won't stay in that job. So this is some of the things that she was talking about. In the book, I talked about how it's important for you to discover who you are, right? When you don't know who you are, then you don't know your passion. You might be, that's why many people are constantly stealing other people. They're constantly going out and stealing other people's passion, stealing other people's ideas, because they don't even know who they are. And so anybody that comes across them, oh, I must be that, boom, they take it. Oh, I must be that, boom, they take it. So how are you? Let's apply this. Let's do some application tonight, right? How do you intend to apply some of these tools to yourself moving forward?
Operating in integrity. I'm taking these tools to bring myself to the next level.
That's right.
Not letting. I mean, I'm aware. I'm aware of what's going on. I don't completely understand everything that I'm going through. All the experiences. I know that there's still a lot to learn. But I think if I take this book slowly, there's even a part where you can make a plan. I'm big on objectives and goals and making my plan. But when you have that vision, and some of us tuck it away because you talked about your vision so many times and nobody heard you. Nobody's seen you. Nobody understood you. And so you go into hiding because it's like, oh, nobody cares about it. Or you get a person that will try to tell you you can't do that. Oh, why are you going to do that? So some things you have to know who you are. So when you hear those distractions, I'm going to put people putting you down in this distraction category. You can fight back. You can withstand everything that anybody tells you. When you know who you are and you know you're worthy of everything that's been instilled in you, you will fight for it. You will do everything you can. You will set that plan in order. If it's just in your brain and you don't write it down, you're not going to stay focused on it. Your brain is not going to stay focused on it because you're going to have distractions. And if you don't recognize those distractions, you're going to go sideways. But if you write it down, if you write your plan down, you set your goals and you set your objectives, and then set smaller action plans to complete it. If it gets too overwhelming, some things are not meant to happen for you right there, because sometimes it's somebody in front of you that has to get their act together.
That's right.
They have to get their stuff together.
Right.
Because again, you cannot do everything by yourself.
That's right.
And this is why you have to get in tune with your inner side, and you have to just talk to God sometimes and say, look, nobody's hearing me. I'm alone. I'm all by myself. What I'm gonna do now?
That's right.
So what happens when you're at that point? And lots of times when you don't know what to do, then you letting that stress of you knowing what you should be doing turn into something else, which could be a mental health issue.
Yeah.
And chronically, if you keep going through depression, if you keep going through anxiety, it gets worse. So you have to identify who you are. So when you do see these symptoms coming, you can say, oh, wait a minute, let me exercise this coping skill. Let me go talk to a friend, figure out what works for you. Everything is not going to work. Everything that makes one person feel good is not going to make another one necessarily feel good.
Yes.
But that's why you have to know who you are, because you have to know what works for you.
Yes. Hi, Lisa. Welcome. Erica, welcome. I tell you what, I like what you've mentioned about mental health, because mental health is so big now that it's not just about America, but it's all over the world. It is important because mental health is actually linked to our worth now. Because when you do not have a self-worth, when you don't have a knowledge of who you are, it doesn't really matter how many courses you buy about how to fulfill your passion. It doesn't matter how many places you go, hey, how many classes you attend. If you do not know your self-worth, everything is anchored on your self-worth. First, understanding who God has created you to be, who you are meant to be, and standing on that. Without you understanding that, everything else is just, and what I see people do is they leave the foundation and they're running around on the things that are fluffy on the top, and yet the foundation is messy. The foundation is not steady. What would you say to people like that?
You have to dive deep. You have to dig in deeper, and you have to set that cornerstone. Now, what I learned about one of the things that I saw in my vision when I read the book about the foundation is sometimes we're out here looking at everything else, like stealing people's visions, and oh, they're doing that, I can do that. Oh, they're doing that, I can do that. And then you wonder why it all falls apart, because that was not your vision. And you went in there, you took something, you grabbed something from somebody, and I hope you didn't hurt anyone along that way, you know, because some people aren't tough enough for you to take their vision away from them. They needed your assistance. And when you saw them, you were supposed to bring your skill to the plate. You wasn't supposed to snatch that away from them. So now you're back to square one, and you realize you wonder why you're still at that same place. And then depending on if that other person knew their worth, they could have went deeper down in depression, and the other person could have went, okay, I'm excelling, I'm going to try another angle. So how you approach that person, not knowing who you are, can really hurt someone. Can devalue, make someone feel like they're not worthy and not of value. And so that's why, again, it's important to know who you are. Now, if that's what you want to do, you're going to find somebody that's going to see you, and we're going to pull you to the side, and we're going to tell you what we see.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you can hate that person,
Mm.
or you can take what they say to you and take it
Whew.
out of love and understand that positive criticism
Mm.
and take it and for what it's worth and change your life.
Mm. Mm.
It's all
Mm.
up to you. As bad as I want it for you, I want everybody to be happy
Mm.
because ultimately that's what I always wanted for myself and anybody that anybody I touched or saw. I wanted them to experience what I experienced from my mother and dad, my mother and father. They showed
Mm.
me that example of how God is supposed to be interacting in my life.
Mm.
And
Mm.
so
Wow.
that's why I couldn't cut people out. There was even a time where I would rather hurt myself, allow myself to be hurt instead of hurting someone else because I
Wow.
wasn't assertive enough. I said,
Wow.
"Oh, I'm just gonna let that happen."
Wow.
Why?
I tell you what though, I resonate with what you're saying. Mr. Hooks, welcome. Mr. Nigeria, welcome. You know, when I first started coming really becoming very visible on social media, I would notice a couple of influencers, influencers. I would notice them creep into my scope, and before I would finish my scope, they turn on their scope and they're talking about what I'm talking about. Now, when it first started, I said, "Oh, maybe it's just in my head." Then when I started tracking it, then I figured out, no, no, this is not it. This is no longer in my head. And there was one particular book that I wrote, and that really sealed it for me. And that book is called, 90 Days to Quit Your Job. And after writing that, I think it was within 24 hours, it became a bestseller. And that book actually got me to London to go and speak in London, right? And then somebody stole it. And so I left it alone. And that particular person made thousands. You hear me? Not hundreds, thousands of money from even the same people that came on my scope, saw that I purchased, I was the one who published the book, but they still went ahead and did what they needed to do, right? And so I left that alone. Then there was another time somebody saw another thing, they took it, I left it alone. Then after a while I said, you know what? No, 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 no. You cannot be allowing people to just take and say, oh, God sees them. No, there are times we have to get up, wake up. And I had to say to myself, Princess, wake up. Because God is good, but God gave you those things. God gave you those giftings. And we have to be responsible with what God gives us. I love the fact that you say, not everything. I know in my life now that there are so many ideas in my head that these ideas, many of them are meant not for me, but for others. And so we have to be able to determine it's not everything that we dream is what we need to accomplish. It could very well be for the next person that God is going to bring your way. And this is what teamwork is about. This is what effort, coming together. I was saying to, I think, a sister today, I think it was Erica. I was saying to her today, I said, for me, God is saying to me, 2019 is a year of us, not a year of me. I was saying that to Erica. I think, Erica, you're there, right? I was saying that to Erica today. I said 2019 is a year of us and US, not me or I. And if we can get that from January and consistently work on that, looking for teams and being a part of a team and pushing each other together and going forth in one accord. I'm telling you, women, get ready to rule the world. I am not kidding. Women, can I say that again? Women, get ready to rule the world. If you dare do it the way God has called us to do it. And so 2019, I want you to hear it from my mouth right now. There is a year of us. if you are here right now and you're thinking about me, you better go back quick and go and restructure the way that you're thinking, because you will miss out on so many things that God wants to do next year. I love the way that you said it, because frankly, I have to go back and read that book now, because I don't even know how that happened, but I have to go back and read the book. So tell us a little bit more about what you learned about in the book. Just share with people, because I want them to know this is an applicable book. You know, I've written a lot of books, but this one here, it is applicable. It is completely applicable. It was so cool this morning when I met with my pastor's wife, and we sat down, and she just browsed through, and she was saying she liked the way that it is set up, because it's applicable. You don't have to go around looking for anything. Just sit down and soak it in. Sit down and soak it in. Please invite people as you come in. Sit down and soak it in. And it's just what you were saying now. For I tell you what though, in my life right now, I pray that my mentors do not leave me. Because I need people that can always call me, just call me out of my name, if you know what I mean. If I'm going left side, I need them to call me. It's always painful,
Yes.
but at this point in my life right now, I'm tired of going in circles. I don't know about you all, but I don't want to go through any more circles. I don't want, if anybody steals something from me right now, I'm gonna be out there saying something, a few choice words, because I've been that timid, that quiet one. Someone who's just like, oh, just bless everybody, help everybody. Don't worry if they're stealing from you. God sees you. But God is telling us to rise up as women. We're called to rise up. Talk to us about women rising up and stop hiding. Talk to us about that.
Well, let me say, when I first opened up the book, and the first thing that I saw was on page 85. And it says, in this season, I'm watching God carefully, selecting my circle and those who may have entered via way of highway robbery. God is kicking them out. If this is happening to you, don't fret. You are being prepared for a bigger platform. Dr. Princess Fumi Hancock.
Can I confess something to you right now? I can't remember when I wrote that. I really cannot remember when. I'm telling you right now, I am confessing, y'all. I can't. Oh, wait. Talk to us about that. Explain that. My goodness. Page 9. If you have the book, page 9. I cannot.
Page 85.
85.
Mm-hmm. Now, right now, this is the season that we're in right now is for preparation. We should be preparing for the next season right now. And when I committed myself and I said, God, I'm going to follow your statutes. I'm going to do what you tell me to do. I started losing friends.
Yeah.
Even my good ones, they got jobs. I mean, one of my friends got a job at Google. I was like, okay, now. I mean, they just started disappearing. I had no choice but to rely on God. He put me in a position where I can only rely on him. Even things started going awry in my family. It was the worst experience ever. That I thought it was the worst experience ever. But when you know your worth, you can withstand whatever comes at you. He's not going to give you anything you can't handle. And so even in my loneliness, being alone, having to be still, I was able to withstand everything that was being taken away from me. And then I could recall, I recalled different things in the Bible, like Job and Joseph, things that just been taken away, your family, your loved ones, being thrown in a pit. You're like, how did I get here? I mean, what did I do? And it wasn't what you did. It was not what you did. You had to be there. You cannot go to the next platform without experience what the audience experience. You cannot go on that platform and tell somebody about something and not really feel what they felt. So when your audience is going to be from when you come to that area where it's time for you to help others and share with other people, you're going to identify with those people that had their experience. That's what you should be doing.
Wow.
My experience is different than the next one, but collectively, if we do it as a group, we're gonna tackle a whole bunch of things.
Woo. Wow.
You're gonna be an expert, you're gonna be the subject matter expert in this area. This person's gonna be the subject matter expert in this area. You can't. There are some people that do know a lot about everything, right? Mm-hmm. But there's one area you're just gonna excel at.
That's right.
That's your vision. That's your purpose.
That's right.
What is it Dr. Gardner that talks about the multiple intelligences?
I'm not sure.
I think he talks about different skills. He talks about different skills, like someone could be more musical, someone could be more godly, someone could be more of a teacher, someone could be more athletic. Some people could be more like work with their hands. I can't remember. It was a long time ago. It's been a long time since that book's been out. Long time. Maybe about 20, 30 wow. years since that book's been out.
Wow.
But anyway, it tells us that, and then you can really, if you really look at things, you can apply it to biblical principles, because even the Bible, people had different skills.
That's right.
Like the Smiths, like the Smiths would be skilled with weapons of war, and the musicians, which we still have, all this stuff that's still occurring today. Those things were built into these people.
Wow.
Religious spiritually, but now because it's so much hurt out here, God is calling the broken people to help others.
That's right.
He's calling the broken.
That's right. Ramona, you said, was I writing on that divine revelation? You betcha, because trust me, I can't remember writing this one. So, oh my goodness. Can you read it again out for those who are just coming in? Can you read that page out? It's really powerful. It's really powerful.
It says, in this season, I'm watching God carefully selecting my circle and those who may have entered via way of highway robbery. Now, that goes back to the people that come in there. They don't have no business being in your circle. Not that circle. Because you're going to have different levels of circles, But that circle right there, someone's entering your circle by highway robbery. God is kicking them out because they didn't have no business to be in there anyway.
Yeah, that's right.
They didn't see your vision. And if they did see it, they didn't want you to have it.
That's right.
So you got to recognize that person.
That's right.
But if you follow principles, you're going to recognize that person. That person is going to know that you see them, and they're going to move. You can move people out the way. Like we were just talking about assertiveness. You can do it. You just have to learn how to do it. And that's why effective communication, that's learning communication skills, is so powerful. It's the knowledge. The more we increase ourselves, the more we see how things operate. We need to take that on board and practice these. We need to practice these things in our lives. I read this book, but I'm gonna go back. There's places in the book where you can write down your thoughts,
yes,
skill, and why is that there? That should be reminding you that whatever you learn in your life, you need to be practicing it. It can be used for one reason. Okay, so then the next sentence is, if this is happening to you, don't fret. Okay, so don't fret that you just lost your best friend that you thought you had for 50 years. Don't fret, because it may be a turning point where that person comes back into your life.
Yes, sir.
But that person couldn't go with you at that moment because your friendship was so tight that you would have been hindered. You would have
That's
been
right.
distracted from what
That's
you're
right.
supposed to be doing. Now, once you learn what you're supposed to be doing, then you just tell your friend, hey, I don't know what happened, but I still love you.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't
That's right.
change. It's just
That's
that
right.
I needed to do what I needed to need to
That's right.
do.
That's right.
Some people can't take that though,
Mm-hmm.
because again, that's a rejection thing.
Mm-hmm.
But when you know your worth, your friend has to do what they have to do.
Mm-hmm.
I know people I don't see maybe about once or twice a year.
Mm-hmm.
But when I see them again, it's like we ain't never skipped a beat. So some people can't take that. So they have to learn that they're worthy enough to withstand when the friend is missing.
Wow.
I'm not gone from you. You're not gone from me. So then the next thing, you are being prepared for a bigger platform. Now, if you make it to the next platform, if you persevere, if you sustain, then you're able to go back and help your friend. But if you're both waddling in somewhere you're not supposed to be at, how are you going to advance to the next level? You're going to keep going through the same experience until you figure out, you know what? I went through this before. Why am I going through this again? Because you didn't learn the first time.
Wow.
When I see myself going through the same thing over and over again, I said, what didn't I learn?
Wow.
So once again, you write your plan down. You can revisit your plan and say, this is where I need to go. But if something stops for you for a minute, if people start disappearing in your life, don't worry about that. Because let's go back to this last sentence again. You are being prepared for a bigger platform.
That's right.
Know your worth. Know that you're worthy to move higher than where you're at. Know that you're worthy to experience happiness. You don't have to be unhappy at that job.
Mm-hmm.
You can find peace within your heart.
Yeah.
And you develop your plan. If you had a vision, revisit that vision.
Wow.
You had the
Wow.
vision for a reason.
That's right. That's right. Oh my God. I'm actually enjoying this because it's like, wow, is she teaching out of my book? Oh, wow. It's
I
true
love this
teaching out of
book.
my book or what? I am having such a blast just listening to her teach out of the book that I'm almost forgetting that I'm interviewing her. Oh my goodness. I tell you what, I gotta sit back and read the book myself again, all over again, because it's amazing when God really does something. Because I'm telling you, when he told me to hold off a little bit and now release it, I know that people did not understand why I did not release it on time, but seeing the responses of people about it now is not AJ now is not making me know, my goodness, it was for a reason, right? Fatima said, oh, just this alone has spoken. So let's look at this. Let's look at the page. Let's look at this front page. What when you saw this and you saw stop hiding and all that, what did that do to you? And what did it tell you?
Let me tell you something. When I saw the book, first of all, there was a big box sitting outside my door, and I was like, Lord, so this box is sitting out here, and then all this bomb stuff was going out, and I was like, well, Lord, if it's meant for me to go today, it's just meant for me to go today. But at least I know I'm dying with loving you all together. So I opened up the book, and let me tell you what happened before I opened up and saw the book and why it resonated with me so deeply. I have been contemplating on leaving my job for a while, right? And in the book, we already talked about how you talked about most people just don't feel good about their jobs. And so I quit my job on the very day that this book came in.
Oh
I
my
was
God.
making good money. Good money. My friends joked, and I did babysitting on the side, and my babysitter was like, "You make more money than I do." but I love kids, you know, I love instilling hope in them. And so that's something that I didn't want to stop doing. But yeah, I quit my job and so many emotions were going through. I said, I can't believe I did this. It's the holiday. What I'm going and I'm counting, I'm figuring out my money that's left over in my bank account. I'm driving home in such a daze, I had to pull over for 2 hours. And I was like, I just left my job. And and you see me smiling now, right?
Yes.
This book made me smile about what the decision that I made.
Wow.
Just by reading, stop hiding. You are valuable. Explore your dreams, master your vision, dominate your brilliance, and by golly, stretch your amazing life. Now, how can I have that amazing life that I always saw in my visions if I'm sitting there in a job? In a job,
Wow.
I mean, 60 hours, you know, I mean, that's a lot of hours. How am I taking care of the kids? How are we being happy? So, it's typically a work week is 40 hours, but that's how demanding the field is, you know, the field that I worked in. And so, but I wanted more for people than what they wanted for themselves. And I was like, well, let me apply some of these skills that I'm teaching to myself. And then when I read this book, it was like, oh yeah, I need to dig a little deeper in this. And it's helping me to dig deeper in what I've already learned, what I've
That's
already
right.
experienced.
That's right. That's right.
You have it. You're already equipped. It's already inside of you. It's already been instilled in you. But sometimes you just need to be woke up.
That's right.
And like I said, once you're aware, you can't be unaware anymore.
Yes.
You're gonna have to do something about that.
That's right. That's right.
You're gonna have to do something about that because you cannot be aware and don't do nothing about it. Because I can't see how you can be aware of something and just be like, oh, I'm not gonna do nothing about it. It's gonna keep eating up at you until you do. So just do something about it. You're aware now. Wake up. And if you're not woke, when you read this, you will be.
Talk to us about igniting. How do you ignite? What plans do you have now in igniting your passion moving forward? How do you intend to move forward now?
Okay, so I'm gonna finish this book here.
That's
And then one thing I learned too is that giving back into the community. I'm gonna do community services, volunteering. You'll meet so many people.
That's right.
If there's something that you're passionate about, find out what you can do to get closer to that person in
That's
that
right.
field.
That's right.
Expose yourself to it. Don't say, okay, I don't know, you know, or I don't want to know, I'm feel stupid. No. If you have that calling on your life, you better develop it.
That's
Because
right.
if you don't, somebody else will.
That's
If you don't do it, you're gonna be watching someone else do it.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
So if my goal is
keep going.
if my
Keep
goal
going.
is to go out there and reach more people
That's right.
and tell them that they're valuable,
Mm-hmm.
then I have to get out there. I can't stay at home.
Mm-hmm.
So while my kids are in school, I can go somewhere and volunteer.
That's right.
And then be back home to get them to take care of them to do what I need to do at home and enjoy my life.
That's right.
But but again, that's my purpose. So if you run out there and try to if you run out and try to do what I'm doing, you might not be happy because 70% of people are not happy about what they're doing.
That's right.
So you have to identify what your passion is and develop that thing. And some people, yeah, you get caught up in the get quick schemes that somebody did it so rapidly.
That's right.
But you cannot do that. If you really look at the sense of things, it took failure, it took heartache, it took sweat for people to be where they're at. Not everybody was just given a deck of cards or a silver spoon or a pile of money to do what they want to do.
That's right.
Because I know if somebody give me a pile of money to do, I'm going to be traveling. I'm going to definitely get the UAE again and shop. But that's another thing too. That's another thing why I recognize my calling. I can go to different cultures and different places and people love me. I said, how do you see me? People saw me. I didn't even know the language, but they knew my language.
Yes.
And I felt some type of way. I was like, shouldn't I know something, you know, about them? And so that's why when I went to different places, I made sure that I experienced the culture.
Mm-hmm. That's
And
right.
so you can't take those experiences back. And when you're awake, you see injustices. Like I remember the first time I went to Mexico, and it hurt me so dearly when I saw some people throwing money at people living on the street. I mean, they were actually laying out in the dirt on the road. You know, some of the kids were running around. They were selling candy and gum and things like that for a price. And someone had the audacity to throw money at them like they were not valuable. Who
Mm.
gives you that right?
Mm. Mm.
What gives you that right to put someone else on a lower platform? Do you know what that person went through?
Mm.
You know what that person's going through? But you better, huh? Because you threw some couple change at them. No, there's a respectable way to do things. And it's
That's
not
right.
funny to laugh at somebody's circumstance.
That's right.
So that's another thing that people need to be woke up about. We have to stop doing all this stuff to each other. And I can never understand, me personally, I can never understand it. And now that I'm older, I'm not tolerating it. And it's not going to happen on my watch, and it's not going to happen around me. And I think that's the circle of people that I have around me feel the same way.
Mm-hmm.
So now there was a time where I didn't have people that were like-minded, but God has brought people to me
Mm-hmm.
that are like-minded. So when he says, I'm watching, carefully selecting, I'm watching, you said, I'm watching God carefully selecting my circle and those who may have entered via way of highway robbery to
That's
take
right.
your vision from you. They enter that to take it from you.
Mm-hmm. 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 And now just thinking about it now, I'm remembering it's coming back to me. Just the thought of that highway robbery, that some of us, people have come into your life, their highway robbery, and you accept it, and you just accept it because you feel like God has called you to be timid, but God has called us to be strong. We're not meant to be timid, stupidly. We're not meant to be foolish, but we're meant to
Exactly.
be wise. And so we
Exactly.
have to we have to also have to watch, stay on the watch with
Mm-hmm.
what God has given us. When God
Mm-hmm.
gives you a gift, you need to be responsible with that gift. You can't just throw it to the dogs and then blame God because you're not where you're supposed to be. No. But if you take your time to really master it. Now, let me tell you something. There might be two people. One went the route of the schemy way. And within one year, it looked like that person is riding high. Meanwhile, you are on your 6th year, still grinding, trying to figure out this, mastering this your skill. Do you want to know something? At the end of the day, I want to come back 10 years and see both people. I can guarantee you that the one who schemed his way through will be down in the rut, while that one who was 6 years into it, mastering it, is now soaring. And that is what we need to understand. Each of us have a divine gifting. We don't need to look at other people's gifting and try to covet that gifting. There's no need for it. That's a waste of your energy, a waste of
Yes.
time, a waste of your brain. It's just a complete waste trying to look at what everybody else is doing and figuring out, how you're going to patch everything together. And, like, Joseph's coat of many colors. No, you have your gifting, I have my gifting. But I love what you said, which is what I've always preached. Like 2019, we know, I've said it, I really sense it in my heart that is a year of us. And so if we get it right now and begin to team up with the right kind of people, the right kind of people, y'all, can I say that again? The right kind of people, not just anybody, right? But the right kind of people. You'll be surprised if you deliberately and intentionally go out of your way to say, you know what? We can do this. Not I can do it. We can do it. Come on now. I know you're strong in this. I'm weak in that. I'm weak in this, you're strong in this. Come on. There's something I'm currently doing with a friend of mine right now that she is strong in two areas that I need, and I'm strong in one area. It's like three things that we're doing, and we have to do it to be able to get to where we want to get to. And she is strong in two, and I am strong in one. But the one that I'm strong in is 60% of what we need to do. And the one she's weak at, and I'm weak at, is 40% of what. So today we just balance each other out. We just like, I mean, we wake up 6 a.m. We're at it again, doing it, grinding. And now we're understanding. She's understanding what she didn't understand in the first space about this particular thing. I'm now understanding. We're now threatened by each other. We know that God has a calling, even though what we're doing is going towards the same place, but we're not threatened because we know if we can just support each other, if we can support each other through it, we both be okay, right? I always look at, no matter how what people think about Oprah, I always look about her and Gail. When I started my YouTube, it was them that I used to start
Yeah.
my YouTube, and I would just kid about them, right? But when Oprah was going, she made sure Gail was going too. She didn't leave
Yes.
Gail behind, right? She didn't say, now I've
I was just
arrived
talking about
back to
that the other day.
Toulouse, right? To Toulouse. But
Hmm.
then she didn't bring everybody along either, did she? Because you
No.
know what? Because the character of Gail must have been one of the things that caused Oprah to hold on till today. I know that perhaps Oprah knew more people than Gail when she was growing up. But for some reason, Gail was wise enough to say, you know what? However many years it takes, I'm just going to stay right here, and we're going to do this thing together. And now together, they enjoy life together. We never know where God is taking us. But we live in a microwave age now where everybody wants to just do, and we're doing do and going absolutely nowhere. Still ending up at the same zero where we started. So as we wrap up, I want us to wrap up because I know it's late. Give us some tips. I want you to give us some tips that you've learned from this book. I want you to speak from your heart now. Just speak from your heart to people. I'm going to let you just speak now because look, you don't teach me a few things in my book today that even I myself need to get some pen, paper, whatever I need to get, and begin to just color because I'm amazed. I'm amazed. Yeah. I'm going to leave the floor to you.
If I have to sum up everything that I've been learning about the book, and I haven't even finished it yet, and I could tell you that it's been so amazing, so powerful in my life that I'm even able to share what I'm learning with the.
Okay, keep going.
I don't even. I think that. Yeah. I think that I will go ahead. Knowing your worth, baby. I'll be with you in just a minute, okay? Um, when you know your worth, you're not going to hurt anyone else. You're not going to hurt other people. You're going to be focused on your vision, on your purpose. You're going to start attracting that positivity in your life. It's going to start attracting other people. They're going to see you. You don't even have to say a word. They're going to be like, what's going on with that person? What's going on with her or him right now? Um, when I do know that when people are toxic, you don't want to be around them. You tend to you develop their attitudes, and that's not something that you want to go throughout the day or go home and bring home because you don't settle for something, and deep down in your spirit you're supposed to be doing something else because first of all you didn't recognize your value, you didn't recognize your spirit, And sometimes there's going to be times that when we're in our group, our closest groups of people that get it, that get that we are worthy, that sometimes you're not going to always be in the front. And sometimes the circle may change. Maybe you will be riding in the front, but you have to know that. You have to know what position what role you play at that moment. And it's no time for the jealousy. It's no time for that gossiping thing too. That's something else that's horrible. That just needs to go somewhere. That at no point should you be investing your time in that kind of negativity. And sometimes when you just there, you get in trouble just by sitting there because you weren't assertive enough to tell people, hey, look, I'm not about that. Let me get up on about this conversation. You make it very clear that you're not a part of that. Because a lot of times when people bring up gossiping, they're going to say it was you, you or possibly, and then you're stuck in something trying to explain something you don't even know about. You don't even understand yourself. And if that other person is hurting so bad, they're not going to see the truth right away. It's going to take them a while because you don't know what mental state they're in. The thing that you have to learn to understand is that your mind will play the worst games on you. And you have to keep that thing fixed through educating yourself, to exposing yourself, to staying positive. One thing we didn't get a chance to touch on, but we kind of talked about speaking your life. That's one thing that you have always taught me, that you have to speak your life into existence.
That's right.
Anything negative that you say about your life is going to reflect on you and everybody around you.
That's right.
Listen, anything that you say negatively about yourself is going to affect you and everyone around you.
Yes.
That's not the way to go. I don't really like that term, fake it till you make it, but sometimes you have to tell yourself positive things until you get to that point.
That's right.
I don't think you should fake it. I think you should be transparent. Here's where I am, and I'm hurting, and this is what I want. This is where I want to be, because sometimes in that faking process, you're hurting yourself even more. You're hurting yourself more because you're applying. You're applying the wrong concepts, and I think that's why it's important to have people like you, Dr. Phyllis, that are aware of the steps that you need in your life. Dr. Eve Angel, I mean, it's no mistake that I met you, but people had to be removed from me. And I met one person, Selena Thornton. She prayed over me one day at an event. I said, can I get to the event? I didn't sign up until I didn't know about it until the last minute. And she invited me in. And then I saw a guest speaker, Vanessa Capers, and we call her Deborah. And then from her, then I met Dr. Eve Angel. Then I met you. I was all by myself. And God said, don't worry about it. And everything that you guys spoke edified me. It spoke to my spirit. And in my sleep, I thought about these things. These things started becoming like, this is where you need to be at. Take that knowledge. And when I got up in the morning, I said, God, where do you want me to be at? And I would just look for that hurt person. I can identify with that person because that's what I wanted to do. That was my purpose. That was my passion. And a matter of fact, I had some homeless girls that end up getting in houses, both of them. They end up getting in houses. And so, and they never thought about it. They thought about apartments, but just a couple of conversations. I said, look, so now we're renting out a home. Now I want you to go to work so that you can buy your own home. Get your credit right. So our experiences should be helping people. That person's not on the street. That person's not going from couch to couch. That person doesn't have to sleep with somebody to make a couple of dollars, just so that they can do the next thing. So you don't know how you're going to touch a person. Matter of fact, I've never experienced this, but there are people that once they knew who their worth was, suicide. They was able to say that one thing that turned that person's life around from wanting to take that pill or wanting to wanting to do some harm to themselves. And there's so many ways that are destructive when you don't know your worth, you don't know your value. Even if you're struggling through mental health illness, if you know that someone is, if you know that you're valuable, you'll think twice about some of the things that you're doing. Some people don't even know that people even love them because people are so busy walking straight away that they can't even say hi to each other. I
That's right.
spoke to the guy literally 2 months in a row and said hello, hello, good morning, good morning, till he got sick of me. The man finally said, hello, kiddo. And then I found out that he used to be a religious petty officer. He used to be in the word, but he got hurt from somebody. But I just kept speaking to him. He said, that girl's not changing. No, I'm not going to change. You don't have to speak to me, but I'm going to speak to you. I'm going to speak to you because I see you. You just walked by me. You wasn't one of those people I didn't see. I saw your pain. I saw your hurt. So you don't know what one word may say. And all I said was good morning, good morning, good morning. So when you know your worth, you fill up with love. You fill up with so much positivity. It just overflows off you. It just, wow. I mean, you can't contain it. And anybody that was going to try to do some ill harm to you, they think twice. They think twice because they say, I can't play that game with her.
That's right.
I can't play that game with her. Oh no, And that's why sometimes it's good to be under people that under a group of women that will protect you and love you. And Oprah understood this. Oprah wasn't naive to the point where she knew that she didn't need someone to love
That's
her
right.
for who she
That's
is.
right. That's right. That's right.
She could have shut Gail down. So girl,
That's right.
girl,
That's
please.
right. And
She could
she
have shut her
says
down.
it though. She says one day they interviewed her. She said she loves Gail because that in a minute Gail will shut her down if when she's wrong. That Gail doesn't care, give a hoot about how wealthy she is or how many people surround her. That Gail will shut her down and say, you and your body.
And see,
Go where the
Gail,
sun don't shine.
right, and Oprah knew her value. Gail knew her value, and
That's
when they
right.
got together, they exploded.
That's right.
They had a burst of energy, and
That's
I'm
right.
pretty sure they're doing remarkable things behind the scenes that we don't hear
That's right.
about. Because guess
That's
what?
right.
They don't have to tell nobody. You don't
That's right.
have to tell nobody what you're doing when you're helping
That's right.
someone. People will see it.
That's
People
right.
will feel it, and if you touch that one person that you touch may end up touching 100 people.
That's right. That's right. That's
So
right.
you can't say no one's valuable, nobody's worth nothing. You don't know what their circumstance was. You don't know what their experience was. If they're willing, help them. Now there's some people you just got to bring them to the water, and if they just gonna look at it, at least you made that effort and brought them to the water. If that's within your field, if that's within your purpose, you bring people with you. You cannot do. If you can do it by yourself, I need to read your book. I need for you to write your book. If you can do everything by yourself, let me read that thing, because I will read it. But no, but I can't do it by myself. And anything that I read or anything that I do or anything that I see, I look for the experience. And that's another thing. When are some of you going to start learning by watching people instead of feeling it? You know, at some point in your life.
Say that again. Repeat that.
When are you? I'm talking for the heart, so I may forget some things. When are you going to start learning things from watching other people than feeling that experience? You know, at some point we go through life and we go through our experiences so we can feel the hardship. But at some point you should say, well, hold up. I don't have to go through that experience. I can observe and see that that's not going to work. And so some people, they don't listen. They go out there and they get hurt again.
That's
well,
right.
Then you see what that person did? And I think it's called vicariously learning.
And that's what life is about. You know, when you see somebody that has been through the route that you want to go through, You know, that's the easiest and the fastest way of getting where you want to get to, when you know and you're aligned with somebody that have been there. And if that person tells you, that is not the way, trust me, that is
Yes.
not the way. And what that
Yes.
person has done is saved you a lot of years of headache, saying, you know, if I didn't tell you this, it would have taken you your next 3 years, wasting your life away in that direction, where there's nothing in that direction. And that's where you have the power of team effort, where we all come together and you're able to really align what you're doing together under an umbrella, and not being threatened by each other, but saying, you know what, we're one. If one succeed, we all succeed. If we all can get to that point where we can say, if one succeed, we all succeed. That's what Oprah and Gail did. If one succeed, we all succeed. And just like what you said, there are some powerful things they're doing behind the scenes that even we don't know. Oprah today would tell you that she would not be who she is if she was doing it by herself. There was one interview about her too, and they talked about how she grew her empire. And she said, well, she grew it by surrounding herself with smart people, and in fact, smarter than she is. And she learned to understand each of their works, and she valued each of their works. And because of that,
Yes.
they stayed there for as long as, because she valued them, and they all valued each other. And if we can just understand that 2019, I say it again, because this is going to be a testimony. 2019 is a year of women. 2019 is a year that God is going to do incredibly things for the women. We're going to start hearing women from different parts of the world just popping out, because women that have not been known before. But you hear what I said? Women. I didn't say woman. I said women. So you're going to begin to see the power of us, people coming together in one unity. If they can come together in one unity and slow down and just understand and go in one force, under one umbrella, under, and not be bothered about, oh, this is my business, that is my this. No, just go under one. You will be amazed that we will begin to see these women on stages all over the world just coming together as one. 2019, the power of us. It's not the power of me, and it's not the power of one, but it's the power of us. And if we can get that, I'm telling you, many of us at 2019 will be just incredible. And now the question now is, we need to start checking out people around us and praying about our core people, that God will move out. And when God is moving out, don't be kicking yourself and doing all kind of stuff. Just lay yourself down and let God finish the movement. And as God is moving them out, and just all you need to just do is, you don't have to say it loud, just be saying in your spirit, thank you, Jesus. Yeah, ouch, it hurts, because I love her. I've been with her for forever, but ouch, it hurts. But thank you, oh God, that you are moving them out. And now, God, thank you for preparing space for those who are meant to go into 2019. Because if it's saying the power of us, which means there are some people out there waiting on you right now, that you're supposed to be a part of their team, or they're supposed to be part of your team. And here you are sitting in your own bedroom, praying to God, doing all this kind of thing by yourself, instead of you to get up and stop the pity party, move out, and say, God, take my feet and move me to the team. And Father, when you put me in that team, help me not to get ahead of myself. Just help me to just settle down, learn what I need to learn, do what I need to do, serve when I need to serve, and just be in the power of us. Any last word for our people as we close out?
Get the book and learn from, get the insight. This book is like hindsight 2020. I don't,
Wow.
the resources that are the resources, the interactive part of the book. I mean, it's unique to you. That book is going to be different for everybody. That
Wow.
book is going to be different for you.
Yes, yes,
That book is different.
yes.
Understand that, read that front cover over and over and over again. If you don't have it, you keep reading that cover over and over and over, and you apply those tools in that book, and you
That's right.
expose yourself. Don't have too much pride to ask for help. If a person helps, go like this and keep going. Go to the next
That's
person
right.
and tell them that.
That's, that's right.
Tell them that.
That's
Just
right.
keep going. Keep
Now,
going. Stop.
if
Read
you,
the
I
book.
know that some of you might buy the ebook, which is great, but I can ask you, I can say this to you. Buying the physical one is even better, because with the physical one, right, with the ebook, you really can't write anything on the ebook. But when you have the physical one, this is like proof to you. This is a reminder to you. Every time you put it, it just, all you have to do is put it by your bedside. And when you wake up, it will remind you of the things that you need to do. So
Oh
if you
yeah.
have bought the
Mhm.
ebook, thank you. But I would recommend that to buy the print, so that you can do the work inside it. You can do the work in it. And this can be like on your coffee table, reminding you to wake up. Now, this is interesting. I saw a few days ago, there was a man that I saw reading it. And I'm like, okay, this is new. All right. He says, wake up, girl, but it's all good. But he was reading it to understand his wife. He was reading it. He said he wanted to know what he wanted to gift his wife, and he wanted to see it. And it was interesting to hear that he could actually apply it too. That if he took out the girl, he needed to wake up himself. And he was like, forget the girl, but you know, I know I need to wake up. So if I take out the girl, everything else applies to me. So if you're a man here, if you have a husband or whatever, you guys can buy it together, sit together, and just learn. You've heard from her. You've heard from her firsthand what she's learned from this. So if you haven't picked your copy up, I would advise you to please go to Amazon and just get it. Wake up, girl. You are worthy, right? Stop hiding. You're valuable. Explore your dreams, master your vision, dominate your brilliance, and by golly, structure amazing life. Well, thank you so much for being a part of this. Well, I don't think this is going to be the end of us seeing her here. This is just the beginning, because I feel like she has a lot. She still has a lot inside of her that she's going to she's going to teach us, because you are truly a great teacher today. You were a great teacher tonight. So that teaching part of you, that teaching gifting, really came out. That I completely forgot that this was an interview. Now, if I could forget that it was an interview, that should tell you something true. Because I completely I did you see me when I was doing this and like, oh really, yeah. I was like, oh yeah.
And you know, I want to also say thank you to I call your faithful group, because I see them as I
Oh,
move the screen across. I see them. I call them my faithful. I
yes,
see they're here.
yes, yes. Thank you all so much
Andrea,
for coming. I
Cynthia,
know the beginning was a little bit rough,
Ramona,
but yeah, but I don't
Dr.
understand what
Phyllis,
happened with
Carter
our
Poe,
broadcast. But thank you. We appreciate you, every one of you that were
Dr.
here,
Evangel.
that took your time. Thank you so much for being a part of this. This is not the end of the discussion. Tonight we were instilling hope, installation of hope. I hope that we've been able to instill a level of hope. I hope that our guests have been able to instill a level of hope. Understand that you are worthy. Understand that it is not the time for you to hide, to stop hiding. Understand that whatever gifting that God has given you, you need to be responsible with it. which means you need to learn to master it. Understand? Don't be like those who are like the cookie cut, half baked leaders. They act right, but they're not really right there, if you know what I mean. So don't be half baked. Take your time with what God has given you. Take your time with your gifting. Take your time with the people that God is surrounding you around. Do not
God bless you guys
underestimate
too.
anybody. Don't undermine anybody. Don't underestimate anybody.
Yes.
Be open, because you don't know who God is going to bring into your circle. Anyone God brings into your circle, appreciate them and understand that it is for a time like this. Because you know what? As we're entering into 2019, God is now beginning to gather to himself some women, and gather to himself teams, and gather to himself efforts and missions. Now, would you be part of a mission? That's the question. Or would you just stay in your bedroom praying and say, God, answer me, when he's already told you that 2019 is the year of us? If you're hearing this and you know, and it resonates with you that 2019 is the year of us, and you find yourself next year, or even starting from now that you've heard it, and all you're doing is just going into a new corner and praying, and not praying for other people, and praying for God to bring your team and bring people that you're supposed to be a part of to live life with in 2019. Oh, don't waste time, sisters, brothers, sisters. Do not waste time, because 2019 is a year of us, and it's not a year of me, neither is a year of one. So begin to pray now for God to first open your heart, so that you can know exactly who belongs in your circle. For those who are occupying some space that they do not belong in, for God to kick them out, because they are just simply highway robbers, right? They're just highway robbers who came to steal and kill and destroy. So now we want God to move them out, so that the right people can come in. Thank you so much for being a part of this tonight. We thank you so much. Until next time, I want you to be inspired, be motivated, be of sentimental value. Know that you are the hero in your life story. Do not allow anybody to write your life story. You are the hero in your life story. Until next time, thank you so much. Bye for now, and good night. My guest, True, well, I'm not going to say goodbye. I'm just going to say see you later, talk to you later, because I know you're going to be coming back again shortly. So I'm not going to say goodbye. So thank you all so much. Do you want to say goodbye to everybody, or? Oh, we can't hear you. Yeah, we can't hear you.
Oh, you can't hear me? Oh,
Yeah, we can hear you.
oh, okay. Latifa, how you doing? I just want to tell everybody God bless them, and that I'm looking forward for our year of us, and that year of us is going to continue. We're going to
Amen.
continue to grow. We're going to continue to encourage each other, empower each other,
Mhm.
and once again, thank you guys for being faithful.
Thank you, Lord.
I really appreciate seeing you guys, because that's what we need to do.
Yes, yes,
I need to see that. I
that's
need to
right.
see that, and
That's
I'm happy about seeing the same names
that's
all the
right.
time.
That's right. Thank you, everybody. Pick up your copy. Bye for now. Bye bye.
Bye.